This video is likely going to be my most valuable in terms of how much information is in such a short amount of time. If you actually pay attention and take notes on everything I say, I have no doubt that you'll be reading the charts the exact same way that I do. From how I see liquidity, areas of supply and demand, market structure, I promise to show you why this model gives such insane returns so consistently. If you are a part of the small percent that really want this to work and you genuinely pay attention to everything I say, the only thing that will be left to master is psychology. But for now, let's start with the most important thing, which is the liquidity supply and demand model. So let's start with the absolute base of our strategy. And if you don't get this right, then nothing else will quite work out. So our zones are essentially based on a price that investors are clearly interested in. Now these investors are institutions and banks that literally move the market. So if we have a way of figuring out where they're placing trades, of course we're going to copy them. Lucky for us, we do. If we see a strong push in either direction out of seemingly nowhere, we can be confident that investors liked this price so much that they placed trades off of it, since once again, they literally moved the market. Now, the problem with this shooting off so fast is that all of the investors that wanted this original price may not have gotten their entries. Now, let me ask you, if you were one of these investors and you missed your chance at this great price, which could have made you hundreds of millions, would you just forget about it? No. I know I'd still be interested with numbers like that. And if price was to ever revisit where we originally shot off from, history is going to repeat itself. The investors that missed this original price will get their entries and we will shoot off once again. And that's where we come in. We already have an edge on the markets with this alone, a way of copying the market movers before the move even unfolds. Let me show you a couple of examples of what this looks like over on the charts. So if you remember, the first thing we want to see is a large push in either direction. And as you can see, that is exactly what we get. We get loads of bullish candles to the upside. And this means that investors were definitely interested in a price down here. So let's mark that out. And all we need to do is wait for price to revisit this area, get our entries, and then price should move in our direction. Once again, we see the exact same thing here. We got a large push to the upside out of an area down here. And once price revisited that area, we get really strong rejections. And then we continue shooting off in our intended direction. Now on the LSD model, we wouldn't look to take this first zone, we'd only look to take this second, for reasons that I'll explain in just a minute. If you think you already know why, leave a comment and I'll make sure to get back to you. Now for another example, but for a supply, it's going to be the exact same thing, but more or less the opposite. As you see here, we get a strong push to the downside, and all that means is the price up here is now an area that investors are looking to sell from. So as you can see, once price did revisit that area, we get our rejections, we get our entries, and then price continues in its intended direction. That is really as simple as it is. So when it comes to drawing out our zones, I like to keep it really simple. So for an example like this, where we are in an uptrending market, we'd be looking at a demand zone. To mark this out, we'll look for the last bearish candle before the bullish move. Or in other words, the last red candle before the green move to the upside. And all we do is include the top wick of the red candle and the bottom wick of the red candle, unless the bottom wick of the green candle comes lower, in which case we'll mark it out from the bottom of that green candle. Literally just whichever comes lower out of the two. And for a supply example, it's going to be the exact same, well, just the opposite. We look for the last bullish candle before the bearish move. As you see, we shoot to the downside, so we mark out from the last green candle for that red move downwards, or the gray candle in this example. And it's never going to get any more complicated than that. So once you understand this, go and backtest it, you will already be marking out charts the exact same way that I see them. Now, why don't we stop right here? Supply and demand is already a profitable strategy in itself, right? Well, if this was all you relied on, you'd be leaving so much money on the table by not implementing the second biggest market mover. And so the rest of this video is going to be adding a couple more confluences, polishing this edge to over double our average risk to reward, whilst also increasing our win rate significantly. So let's talk about liquidity. Liquidity is the biggest mode of market manipulation and is something that normal supply and demand traders always ignore, therefore leading to a lot of inconsistent traders. And they just think that this is for no reason. The truth is, they just don't know about liquidity yet. So you're wondering, what actually is liquidity? Well, like I said, it's a mode of market manipulation and makes price drawn to swing lows and swing highs. We refer to this as liquidity that sits on these swings. Now, when most traders get stopped out due to liquidity, we instead use it to our advantage. So in an uptrending market, price is constantly going to be taking the upper liquidity since we are moving upwards. But this means that there is so much liquidity sitting on these swing lows so that most normal supply and demand zones are just going to get faked out for price to go and grab that liquidity, since their stop losses would be up here, but price would want to go below this swing. Instead, what we do is wait for this swing of liquidity to be formed above one of our zones, so that when price comes back down to our zone, we're offering the market a level of liquidity to take before we get our entries, and then we shoot to the upside. All you need to remember is that liquidity is going to be sitting on swings, like this swing of retracement. I am going to be testing you through the video, so take note. Now, for a downtrending market, believe it or not, it's going to be the exact same thing, just the opposite. We're going downwards, so we're going to be looking for areas of supply. Remember, demands for uptrends, supplies for downtrends. So when the market comes up, normal supply and demand traders will be getting their entries, but price hasn't taken out any liquidity. So they're just going to get stopped out, coming up to our zone, taking that level of liquidity, and then the market has everything that it wants to see to continue in its intended direction. Now, before I get more in depth on that, there is one more crucial foundation of our steps. So listen up. Once price makes this swing of retracement, which our liquidity will sit under, we need to break market structure to the upside. This break of structure is going to be a great confirmation that we're going to continue going upwards, since the market is literally showing us that it wants to continue going on to make higher highs. For a supply example, believe it or not, we make that swing of retracement for that liquidity to sit above, and then we need to break market structure to the downside. We want to continue going downwards for a supply, so the market just needs to show us that. I've chosen this example because everything is just so clear. So we get that strong push to the upside originally, which is going to determine this area of demand. Afterwards, we make a clear swing retracement, which our liquidity will sit under. So let me just mark that out. And then after we make this swing of liquidity, we need to see a break of structure to the upside. We're in an uptrending market, so we just need confirmation that we'll continue going upwards. And as you can see, we go on to break this high so convincingly, which will determine our break of structure. So when price comes back down to our zone, we can get our entry model, set our take profits, and just let price do the rest of the work. And like we said, for a supply example, it's just going to be the opposite. We get our area of supply, make that swing of retracement for our liquidity to sit on top of, and then break market structure to the downside once again. Meaning that when we did go up and touch our zone, we could get our entries, and I think you know the rest of the story. So now we know what one of our setups look like. How do we know when to actually enter? Well, that is going to be where our three entry models come in. The break of candle entry, the directional close, and flip entries. If you're going to take one of these away from this video, I'm always going to recommend the directional close, simply because it's the most conservative and it's going to lead to the most profits over the long term. But they can all be used for different scenarios, so I'll mention all of them. So starting off with the break of candle entry. This is going to be triggered once the candle breaks the high of the previous candle. I'm going to show some examples, so don't worry. And it's important to mention that we cannot close inside of our zone. And if we break that high of the previous candle, it's going to be showing insane volume, which is going in our favor. Volume of which is likely to continue. Now we use this in a volatile market because the next entry model may not even give a good entry. In fact, most traders miss their entry entirely. And if you remember, we're going to get in once price breaks the high of the previous candle. So we tap our zone without closing inside. Then as you see here, price breaks the previous high, therefore determining our entry price. And then we just run to take profit. Now moving straight on to the next entry model, it's going to be the directional close. This is where a candle closes in your direction after wicking the zone. Once again, without closing inside. Closing inside of our zone, it's going to be an instant invalidation, so make sure to watch out for that. Directional close is going to be the most statistically safe with the highest reward in the long term, and that's why I preach it so much. You're going to have the highest win rate and the highest returns. So if you remember, we simply wait for price to come down into our zone, wick our zone without closing inside, and then close in our direction. And that really is as simple as it gets. Once we close in our direction, that determines our entry price. I'll talk about stop loss and take profit placements in the next segment, so stick around for that. And then all that's left to do is wait for our take profit to go and get hit, just as we see here. Similarly, for a supply example, we want to go to the downside, therefore we wait for a bearish close. Simply a candle close in the direction that we want to go. Now for our last entry model, it's going to be the flip entry, which is actually our most aggressive. Now the how is all going to be down to a new higher time frame candle. Since all higher time frame candles, so new 30-minute, 1 hour and 4 hour candles are all going to have significant upper and lower wicks. If this doesn't quite make sense to you, then you can skip forward to the next segment. But the reason that we use this is simply for the huge returns that it can bring when it is applied right. It is our riskiest, but it does reward us the most when it is used correctly. So if we look at this example, the entry candle was at 9 a.m. which, if you think about it, is a new 1 hour candle. Now, every higher time frame candle has significant upper and lower wicks, like we mentioned. In fact, if you go to a higher time frame, we can see huge lower and upper wicks so consistently. Now, us on the 5-minute time frame are going to be up in the noise of these candles. So once that new higher time frame creates that lower wick, all price wants to do is go to the upside to create that upper wick and close in our direction. Therefore, once price flips from bearish to bullish, we will get our entry, set our stop loss and our take profits, and price is just going to shoot to the upside. This is a great example just here. This new candle was on 8 o'clock, therefore it is a new 1 hour candle. And as you can see, price comes down into our zone, therefore creating that lower wick, flipping from red to green. And once price flipped, that would determine our entry price. We would set our stop loss and our take profit, and price would just run there. You have to remember that these concepts are tested over decades of data, and we have a reason for every single one. If you have any questions at all, I do have a Discord just down below, which is completely free and has over 1,000 traders on the exact same route as you. I also do have a VIP group where I'm mainly active, answer all of your questions, as well as sending every single trade that I'm looking to take before I take it. There's also weekly webinars, a lot more resources on stuff like this, as well as so much more. So if you think that's something you're interested in, I hope to see you over there. Now let's talk about take profit and stop loss rules. And let's use this for an example. So a stop loss is essentially just a price where we admit that we're wrong, and it's going to get us out of our trade. Now with this strategy having such insane rejections, we don't really expect price to come lower than where we originally rejected from. Therefore, our stop loss placement is just going to be under the lowest wick inside of our zone. This is going to make sure that we get insane risk to rewards per trade, as well as having a clear reason to cut our losses as soon as possible. Therefore, also increasing our win rate. As always, for a supply example, it's going to be the exact same. We're going to put our stop loss just above the deepest wick inside of our zone. As you see, we're using the directional close entry model, which means that we expect price to just go down from here. And as you can see, that is exactly what happens. Now, in terms of take profits for NQ, so NAS 100, crude oil, so CL, and ES, so the S&P 500, it's all going to be 1 to 3 risk to rewards. And on gold, it's going to be 1 to 4 risk to rewards. Now this is determined over much more data than I care to admit, but essentially just states that these are the most profitable for each of them. As you see here, this was a 1 to 3 risk to reward since we're on crude oil. As you see here, it's the exact same story. We're on NAS 100, which is also going to be fixed 1 to 3 risk to rewards. We get our flip entry, stop loss below the deepest wick inside of our zone, and take profits at that 1 to 3 risk to reward. As you can see, we clearly just run to take profit. Now my take profit logic does go deeper than this, but I don't want to explain that in this video. I think it's good to get your head around this first. If you are interested in literally learning everything I do and the exact way I trade the charts, then once again, I do have more resources over in that VIP Discord. However, you can be profitable with only the information that I say in this video. Now, in terms of the instruments that I trade, these are going to be XAUUSD, which is gold, NQ, which is NAS 100, CL, which is crude oil, and ES, which is the S&P 500. Now, ES and NQ do move very similarly, but the main thing to mention is that this strategy is profitable over almost every single instrument or Forex pair. The main thing is finding ones that are most consistent. Through back and forward testing, I've found that these four are so consistent when it comes to spreads, market structure, when I trade the charts, which I'll talk about in just a second, and really do fit my time frame perfectly. Now, I trade futures specifically since I am on a lower time frame. I'm on the 5-minute, and something that futures has that Forex doesn't is no spreads. This essentially means where I place a trade is where I'm going to get in, where Forex is not too consistent on this. Let's say you want to get in at this price down here, you may actually enter up here, which is really going to mess up your risk to reward per trade. Now, this is only apparent because I am on the 5-minute time frame. If I was trading the higher time frame, then I'm sure these small spreads wouldn't matter. The reason I trade the 5-minute time frame is just how I am as a person. I like to make my money and then get out of the charts. I'm sure you're likely the same. You know, I value my free time. I don't want to be at the charts all of the time. So I do like to have a set session per day. Now, my session is going to be 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. UK time, which is actually a very long session. Now, the reason I'm able to trade this so consistently is because I'm not always at the charts at this time. I check the charts on and off, and I set alerts when I see an area of supply or demand that I'm interested in. This means that I have free time pretty much all day, every day. And in reality, the freedom is the exact reason that you're getting into trading. trading. Another reason why this time is so good to trade is because it captures all of London session as well as the start of New York. Now, London and New York sessions are going to be where investors are most active over the instruments that I trade. These are the exact institutions and banks that we're looking to copy. Therefore, we want to trade a time where they are trading. So translate this session over to your time zone and make sure to pick a time for you that you can trade consistently. Now, if you've paid attention and you've taken notes, now you have everything you need to go and start backtesting for yourself. I think one thing every learner trader needs is accountability, which is the exact reason I made the free Discord just down below. There's a lot of like-minded traders that are all on the same path as you, some potentially a bit further down the road. Therefore, there's always something to learn. If you really are looking to take this seriously, then I do have that VIP Discord. It's where I'm always active, as well as a lot of experienced traders on the model. Once again, I send all of my trade ideas before they happen. There's a lot more resources, as well as all of my backtested data. You can compare your backtested data with mine and see where you're going wrong. So once again, I do hope to see you in there. If not, subscribe, like, and leave a comment on what you want to see next. It really does help, and it means that I can catch you in the next one. I'll see you there. Peace.